In the east of Galisia, our noble family made their home in the Fürsten Mountains. A generation ago, nomadic tribes built forth past the meager defenses. The cities held firm with their sturdy walls. However, the land was plundered for years. Entire villages disappeared forever, and a devastating famine brought ruin to those of us that were left. A decisive victory outside Whitelock drove the savage raiders from our lands, fleeing back to the mountain pass. This victory was won by the revered Hart. He was rightfully recognized as a hero, and the Hart family was given the means to construct the impassable fortress that would become Hart Keep. We swore an oath that no invader would ever pass again, and the family was rightfully seen as the protectors of the East. However, this victory soon faded in the memory of the kingdom. Stewardship of the East was given to the Duke of Whitelock, a much less deserving man. And despite this insult, the Hart family stood firm in our duty to the kingdom. The nomads returned once more, crashing onto the fortified walls of Hart Keep. They were cut down in short order, repelled from our lands once more. However, many honest soldiers were lost in the fight, and this victory was again short-lived in the minds of the kingdom. Few paid any notice to our struggle and sacrifice. They returned again and again and again. They spent years probing for weakness, searching for new paths through the mountain range. They were desperate to pass the mountains, far more than ever before. They paid a heavy price and continued to pay it, as if they had no options left. They were going to pass or die trying. The Hart soldiers were forced to leave the safety of their walls to ensure they didn't, defending smaller passages and trails. I spent many months in those mountains. A lot of good soldiers never left. The Harts paid a heavy price for defending the wall, even losing a son in one of the skirmishes deep in the mountains. He died a hero, but few honored him in the kingdom. We soon found the source of their desperation. After failing to pass, they were annihilated by the Atafri Empire, with those left being brought into their ranks. We had heard stories of this empire, fierce warriors and masters of engineering, ever-expanding and unstoppable on land. We never thought we'd have to face them. Their reach is now finally bordering our kingdom. The nomads were troublesome, but were no match for Galician knights on sturdy fortresses. The Atafri, they were many, they were organized, and they knew how to win a siege. It was only a matter of time before this empire came looking for their routes to the rich lands behind our walls. We had seen their scouts and spies amongst the trade caravans. We knew our only chance at beating them was to reinforce the mountain pass. More walls, more weapons, more soldiers. There were many in the kingdom who heeded our warning and were prepared to assist. All except for the one man who mattered most, the king. Despite our pleas, he ignored us. and the crown's coffers were instead used on his vanity projects in Sight Ellen, we knew the kingdom's fate was sealed. No, we swore an oath. Something can be done. Something will be done.